Okay, for this project I'm using, this is Caron Simply Soft. It's a worsted weight 4-ply acrylic yarn. And I'm using Peaches and Cream. It's a 100% cotton yarn. 4-ply, but of course you can use any kind of 4-ply yarn that you have. I know you're not supposed to mix brands and stuff, but I do. So I actually just like the colors that I had. They didn't have the right colors in the same brand, so I mix brands all the time. And then you're gonna need a size, oh, I find it here. 5.5mm crochet hook. And then I'm gonna be using, oh, my light just went off. I have these bamboo handles that came off an old handbag. You can also get these, I think, online on eBay and Amazon and stuff. But if you don't have these, you can use any type of handle that you want. You can make your own handles, whatever you want to do. Okay, I already have my big piece of fabric done. So I'm going to show you on a smaller scale. But I started my big piece with a chain of 60. And once you get your chain of 60 made, remember I'm just going to show you smaller here. You want to do a half double crochet in the 3rd stitch from the hook. We're doing half doubles. And then you want to do 1 half double in each stitch of the chain. Just like this. Until you get to the end. Okay, once you get to the end of your chain, and you half double crochet in the last stitch. Now I always tie off when I change colors, because it's easier for me to do that. But if you know how to change without tying off, that's fine. But I tie that off, and then I start with my next color, the color that I'm going to use for the bobble stitches. And I'll turn my work and start in the 1st stitch here. I know tying off after each time makes more ends, or tails to tie in, but that's just how I do it. Okay, you want to start your new color with the chain 1. Now we're going to do a double crochet 5 together bobble. So I'm going to yarn over, go into that same stitch, draw up a loop, yarn over and go through the first 2 loops on my hook. I'm going to yarn over, go in the same stitch, draw up a loop, yarn over and go through the first 2 loops on my hook. I'm going to do that a total of 5 times. Yarn over, draw up a loop, go through the first 2, yarn over, go through the first 2, and this is my 5th time. So I did that 5 times, and you know that you've done it 5 times when you have 6 loops on your hook. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. And then you want to yarn over and go through all 6. And I'm always going to yank it and pull really tight, and then single crochet into the very next stitch. And if you flip it over, that's your poofy bobble stitch. And I'm just going to do this the whole way down my row. I'm going to go to the next stitch now and yarn over, go in, draw up a loop, yarn over and go through the first 2 loops, yarn over, go in, draw up a loop, yarn over and go through the first 2 loops. I'm going to do this 5 times. And after 5 times, you should have 6 loops on your hook. Yarn over and go through all 6. Pull it tight. Go down and single crochet into the next stitch. just like that. I'm going to bobble in the next stitch. Single crochet in the next, like that, and I'm just going to do this all the way down. Bobble in the next stitch, single crochet into the next. So I'm going to repeat this until I get to the end of my row. When you make it to the end, I just did my last bobble, and then I'm just going to single crochet in the last stitch here, like that. And again, I'm going to tie off after every color. That's just how I do it, like that. And that's what it starts to look like. So now I'm just going to turn my work and start again with my other color. Start in that single crochet there at the end. I'm going to chain one. I'm going to go back into the exact same stitch and half double crochet. Now I'm going to half double crochet in every stitch across the row. So there's that single crochet, and then you got a half double crochet in the top of this bobble stitch. So if you see it, it's right here. And then the next one is the single crochet in between right here. And then on top of the bobble, if you flip it over, you kind of be able to see it. It's just the two top loops. Half double, and then that single crochet in between, and then on top of the bobble, single crochet, or that single crochet in between, half double crochet on top of it. So I'm just half double crocheting in every stitch across the top here. This is a real easy pattern. It's a little time consuming though. I thought it was. Okay, when you get to the end of your row, you half double crochet in this last bobble stitch. And then I'm going to tie that color off, and I'm going to start with another row of bobble stitches. So it's just repeating these rows. I'm going to turn, start again, starting in the very first stitch, chain one. Now I'm going to do my bobble stitch in the very first stitch. Single crochet in the next stitch, and then bobble, stitch in the next. So I'm just going to repeat this all the way to the end, and I'm just going to keep repeating these two rows. It's really easy. Single crochet in the next, like that. I'm going to repeat it all the way to the end. When I get to the end, I'm just going to do another row of the half doubles, and then a row of the bobbles, and a row of half doubles, and a row of the bobbles. And you can do that actually for as wide as you want it to be. But I did 12 rows of the bobble stitches, and I ended on a row of half double. So we started with a row of half double, and I ended with a row of half double, and then there's 12 rows of bobbles in between. Okay, once you get all your tails hidden, I'm going to sew up the sides, and I'm going to sew it wrong side facing me, so like this. So you just kind of put your ends together. And I'm just going to simply slip stitch it together. So, I'm just going to start up here at the top. And I'm going to go into the first stitch on this piece. And the first stitch on this piece. Maybe. I'm going to pull my yarn through both of them, and I'm going to chain one, and now I'm going to go to the next stitch on each piece and slip stitch like that, and then the next stitch here and the next stitch on the back piece and slip stitch. And then the next stitch, and next stitch back here, slip stitch. If you wanted to use a yarn needle, you could do that. Or you could even single crochet it together. So I'm just going to continue slip stitching this side up, and then I'm going to go to the other side and do the same thing. And then I'll be able to flip it right side out. So just slip stitch it all the way down. Okay, once you get the sides all sewed up, should be a nice clean seam on each side. Now I'm going to go around the top here and clean up the top with some single crochet. So I'm just going to start here. Start in any stitch you want, but just start up here. And I'm just going to go around and I'm going to put single crochet in every stitch. So I'm going to start by chaining one. I'm going to go back into the same stitch and single crochet. And then you single crochet into the top of that bobble stitch. And then single crochet in the next stitch, the next half double, and then the top of that bobble. Should be able to see the stitches fairly well. So just like this, all the way around. And it's just going to clean up the top a little bit, so it's not so messy looking. And when you get to the edge here, I'm almost there, so hurry up and get there. You just want to single crochet around the corner here too. Just follow it around. Right here you might not be able to see quite the stitches that well, so just kind of evenly space them out. Just do the best you can. Like that. And you should be able to continue back around until you get to the other side, or back to where you started. Just like that. So I'm going to continue around with this row of single crochet until I get back to my starting point over here. Okay, when you make it all the way around with that first row of single crochet, when you get back to the beginning, you can put a stitch marker here if you want. I'm going to go around again, and you can make this brim part as thick as you want. So you can put a stitch marker here if you want to remember your spot. I'm just going to jump over and single crochet into the first single crochet, and I'm going to go around again, putting one single crochet in every stitch, just like that, until I get all the way back around to my stitch marker. And then when you make it back around to your stitch marker, if you want to go around again, or as many times as you want to go around, for as high as you want this little brim part to be, I'm only going to do just these 2 rows. But then when you make it back around, you just slip stitch into the next stitch where your stitch marker was. Pull that stitch marker out, and then you can tie off here. And I'm going to go ahead and hide these tails. After that, I just went ahead and sewed my handles on, and I just sewed them on with a yarn needle right up here at the top. Really easy, just went around and around. Now if you don't have these type of handles, you can use any kind of handle you want. You can make one long one, 2 short ones. You can buy different handles and sew them on. But that's it, that's all there is to it. And it kind of naturally, mine does, is dipping in here. Makes it look kind of interesting at the top. Like that, just kind of naturally doing that, but that's it. That's all there is to it. It's really easy. I hope you enjoyed my tutorial. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. And you can come and check me out on Facebook. And you can post all your crochet items on there. And I like to share them on my page. And everybody can look at them. And until next time, have a good day.